So when you're working in Illustrator, Illustrator for whatever reason defaults to a black stroke around shapes. And so it's really good to know how to turn off that outline and to allow your colors to work a little bit more independently of the stroke. Because what happens is when you add a stroke, especially a black stroke around your shapes, you can see what happens is that we get kind of like this moat or barrier that prevents the colors from really working. So we've made all these kind of changes in the colors here, but what's defining the shape is not the colors themselves, it's that black outline. So let's take a look at what happens when we turn that outline off. To do that, if we look in the toolbar, let's click these shapes. Now look in the toolbar, can you see this is my fill color right here, and this is the outline. And to turn it off, all you do is make sure you have the stroke, which is the outline, the stroke selected, and click below that on the little none button right here, which has a little red diagonal through it. And that way is our stroke taken off. Let's now just take them all off at the same time. To do that, I'm just going to go up to the select menu and select all. You can just do that by Command or Control A. And now let's do the same thing. We've got our stroke selected, and let's click the none button. Okay, so can you see the difference in how much just sort of more nuanced the design is? How if we look down here with the darker colors, we see this very crisp edge with the high contrast, where here with the lower contrast, we get this kind of nice sort of softer, more interesting look created by the colors. And so your color is creating the interactions rather than that black outline. If you do want to work with strokes, stroke is a feature that can be very helpful in Illustrator. Make it a part of your design. A stroke essentially is just like a kind of a border around your shape. So if we take this shape, let's just see what our hue is in here in the color picker. Looks like it's 114. So I'm just going to copy that using Control or Command C on my keyboard. So I now know the hue, and because I want to keep this as a monochrome for this particular design. So I'm going to click on the stroke button, and I'm going to double click to bring up my color picker, and oh, it looks like it's already at 114, but if it wasn't, I could just copy that in. And let's pick a color that we're going to use here for our stroke. Let's just pick that and click OK. Okay, so you can see here I've got a very thin little narrow stroke, which again seems a little bit of a default. Let's do something more interesting. Let's go right up here to the top, and it was at 1 point. Let's just move it up to 6 points as a thickness. Okay, now already that's way more interesting. We can actually, let's move it up a little bit more to 10. So you can see that, that is now we've got a designed stroke rather than just kind of defaulting to whatever the program tells us to use. And we're also able to work more with the colors. So now I can go in here, maybe I could play around with different colors in my, oops, I didn't have this selected, different colors, experiment within my monochrome to get something really fun. All right, well, I hope this has been helpful. Let me know if you have any questions.